Hey there everyone, it's November 1st and time for my collection update video. Sorry if I sound so monotone this time. I am incredibly tired today. I had to work way longer than normal in a day. So if I'm not as entertaining as usual, I apologize. But to get started, I got way more than normal. Again, that's kind of a usual thing. Um, a lot. I should just explain myself as it goes, but like my birthday was this month, so I got stuff there. My girlfriend came out, so I got stuff there. So we'll go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with DVDs and Blu-rays, and then we will do CDs because there's a bunch of those. There's actually a bunch of everything really, but we're gonna start with Blu-rays and DVDs, CDs to follow, and then video games and special stuff, sort of, to end the video. Anyway, we will go ahead and get started. First up, I don't know why this is first, but it is a Blu-ray, and it is Jurassic World. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I went and saw it in theaters. I thought it was fantastic. Chris Pratt did a great job. I actually think it's probably the second best in the series because in my book, nothing will ever top the original Jurassic Park to me. But still a really, really great movie. I guess some people had issues with it. I still don't understand why. But still, it's an absolutely fantastic movie. I'm glad to have this. I found out it came out, so I bought it because it was cheap. So, yeah, really, really good movie. A lot of fun to watch. Jurassic World. I mean, how do you go? It's Jurassic World. Like, I don't see how you go wrong with that. Moving on, we have a Blu-ray that I've been waiting for over a year to come out. I don't really know why I'm putting it after Jurassic World, but I guess it was a little bit more amped up or hyped by me. That is a Blu-ray from when I went to Atlanta last year. It's just been over a year. This is one of the live shows I got to see. Still waiting on more DVDs for it, but yeah. This is Pagans Mind, Full Circle live at center stage. Just basically two entire sets, and if you see this, they're from Norway, so technically, I guess it's region unlocked, so there's no, but it's from Norway, so that's what that is. But basically this is two entire sets where they play one album of theirs in its entirety up here, and then basically a greatest hits set. Plus there's, you know, a guest spot by the lead singer of one of my favorite bands, who I actually get to see again next year in Atlanta. But basically in here is two CDs, and then the Blu-ray here. So I watched it, and it was amazing. Just as good. Well, probably not as good as when I first saw it, but you know, when you go see a concert, the full force of emotions and everything hits you right then and there. But it was still really good. They actually basically did a new song, or what I thought was a completely new song, Full Circle, which is an instrumental that I thought was like 10 minutes long. Number one, turns out it's 15 minutes, and number two, turns out it's just a medley of some of their songs. I didn't realize that. I haven't listened to them, you know, an extensive amount to realize that. But still, there's actually one other thing that I noticed about this because I read it in this little pamphlet here. I remember when I saw them, the year that I saw them, their guitarist had to leave early for personal reasons, and then they canceled their next major appearance due to a death in the band, or a death of a family member in the band. So I put two and two together, and I figured out it was the guitarist. Turns out it was right, and it was actually his dad who was terminally ill, and actually talked him into playing this, and he passed a week later. It's a week after this was recorded, and like the entire time I was there, it just felt like, or when I watched this, it felt like the guitarist was just on the ball and knew what he, like, he had, it felt like he just had like something backing him. You know what I mean? Like he like had like something on his side to amplify him, like he had something to play for, like he had the emotion and the raw, just you know, so it felt like he was just on his like A+++ game, you know. And I realized that even watching it again. It was absolutely fantastic. I love this this Blu-ray. It's a lot of fun to watch. If you like progressive power metal, if you've ever heard of Pagans Mind, you need to buy this here. It's really good. Also, it came with a free T-shirt that I'm not going to show here, but it came with a T-shirt, the bundle I got, and this actually signed picture of the band. And it looks like these are actually legit, you know, Sharpie things because the way they reflect. So I guess the band like legit signed this. So that's actually really cool. Anyway, moving on. While I was hanging out with my girlfriend while she was here, we went to this used DVD and CD store. If you remember a couple months back, I got a whole bunch of DVDs, and I said I spent not that much. And I mean by a bunch, I mean quite a few. Well, this time I went there, I bought a few DVDs and a few CDs and then a couple things for her. But I actually was able to find two things that I've been trying to get. One that I had for a short time and it unfortunately didn't work right, so I had to take it back. These are both used, so I have no idea if they work or not because I haven't had time to watch them. But I've been waiting to get more seasons of this. I mean, I've seen the whole thing, almost. Not quite up to date, but I've seen all of, you know, this era. But that's Doctor Who. I actually have the first season, and I was able to actually pick up season 2 here. This is the outer shell. Unfortunately, the outer shell is a little busted, which kind of sucks. But still, this is all in really good shape. And it just opens up, and there's the pamphlet, and you got all the discs. I actually bought this at an FYE couple years ago this season, and it skipped like I want to say like 2 discs in. Let me see here. Yeah, it was School Reunion right here. It was that episode right here that skipped. So I unfortunately had to take it back. I'm hoping this one does not skip because I actually really liked this season. Really good. I enjoyed this a lot. So I can't wait to watch this. It'll be pretty good. And on that note, I was also able to find Season 3, which just leaves me with Season 4 and the specials that Tenet did to finish the Tenet era, which is my big one. I have been watching, I finally caved and started watching Matt Smith quite a few months back. He's phenomenal, so I will buy his. I haven't got to Capaldi yet, but I will. This one is in a lot better shape. I mean, like, I almost wonder if this was the same person that owned this, because for some reason, this one is in way better shape than the other one. It's really weird. But I just can't wait to watch this, because this is when the Master first shows up in the new series, and that's some crazy stuff. So, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. But Doctor Who, this show is phenomenal sci-fi greatness. Then to finish off DVDs and Blu-rays, we will do our monthly Robin Williams stuff. And I got 2 DVDs and a Blu-ray this month. I got one movie I'd never heard of until recently, one that I think I've heard of, and one of his must-owns in my book. And we'll finish with that one. But first up, we have a movie called Being Human. When I first made my list of movies of his to get, this was not on it. But then I found it on Amazon. I was like looking through his movies, and this is one where it's going through time, he plays different roles. And I'm like, fantastic, I'll take it. And it sounded interesting. So I bought it just now, recently. I haven't watched any of these yet, unfortunately. I need to. I mean, the last movie here I've seen, but still, I do want to see this. It looks really good. Robin Williams, though. The other movie I actually bought with the Doctor Who and some of the CDs you'll see here, that is Moscow on the Hudson. I've actually seen this, or not seen it, I've heard of this movie somewhere. I can't quite remember. I was able to pick it up for a lot cheaper than I'd find it on Amazon. So I bought it at, you know, that place, and hopefully it works just fine. So far I haven't had any problems from there. I'm hoping they're smart. But still, really want to see this movie. It could be really interesting because it's, you know, I guess him playing a Russian guy. So how do you go wrong with that? I don't know, we'll see. And then finally, to close out the DVDs and Blu-rays, we got, you know, one of his all-time classics. This is actually the anniversary edition that was just released last month. That being Jumanji. And in my book, this is the last must-own or really, really important movie of his that I have to get. There's still quite a few movies I have to get. I will finish soon, because the last movie of his that I wanted is out. So, yeah. Excited as heck to have this movie, because I loved this movie as a kid, and I watched it recently on Netflix not too long ago. And I got it on Blu-ray now. Unfortunately, it has this thing, which I still don't understand why they make those. But I guess this comes with a sneak peek of Goosebumps. Oh boy. But episodes from Jumanji, the animated series, which I didn't even know existed. But yeah, absolutely love this movie. A lot of people are kind of iffy about it, but I thought it was great. I think it's hilarious. It's like, what year is it? But it's a great movie. I love this. I will definitely watch this as soon as I can, because I love Jumanji. I mean, Kristen Dunst is in it. She's in it. Let's see. David Allen Greer, Bonnie Hunt. It's about the only names I can recognize in here, but it's a great movie. Can't wait to watch it again. That is it for DVDs and Blu-rays. We then go on to CDs, where I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 here. This is the most CDs I bought in a month in quite a while, but we'll go ahead and start with the 3 classic rock/metal CDs. These are probably all more popular than the bands that I'm going to do after these, but I just want to get these out of the way because I have probably the least to say about them, which is kind of sad because they're more popular. But we'll go ahead and start with this. This is, let's zoom in real quick. This is Queensryche Rage for Order. This is the last Queensryche album I wanted to buy because I have Empire, Promised Land, and Operation Mindcrime. And as far as I've heard and read and stuff, it's from Rage to Order to Promised Land is where they really hit their prime and their best, you know, oomph, I guess. I listened to this. It's actually, it's not great. I still think Mindcrime is the best of the 4, and then Empire, and then probably this one. Friggin' Promised Land wasn't really all that impressive to me. But this was alright. I didn't mind this. Let's see, what's good on here? Walk in the Shadows, you can't really see here. They're too small. The Killing Words was good. New Rugal was also really, really good. London was also good. But pretty good CD. Not too bad. If you like, you know, classic metal, it's good. Definitely worth a check out. Then we go on to 2 all-time classics in my book. We'll start with this. The only reason I bought this is because, as far as I'm concerned, it's a classic album, so I needed to buy it. I still intend to buy this band's greatest hits to get all of their hits. Like a lot of the classic bands, I didn't really care about buying any of their albums. I just wanted their greatest hits to have their more popular songs. But I saw this CD, and it was like less than $5, I think, so I just picked it up. That being Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. Easily their most famous album, because, I mean, it has You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, and Wanted Dead or Alive, so must own, honestly, for any kind of collector or any kind of, you know, 80s rock fan. I mean, come on. I mean, I've seen Bon Jovi in concert. It was like 15 years ago almost now, but I've still seen him, and it was a great show. I won't lie there. But really cool to have this. I mean, I didn't get it for the whole album. I just got it to have, you know, You Give Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer, and Dead or Alive. But it's a must-own CD, and it's a classic, so why not? And then to finish off the classic CDs, we got a Greatest Hits album. This was like the first Greatest Hits album I actually put on my list of CDs to buy. Because, I mean, this band isn't, you know, that popular. That is Journey's Greatest Hits. like I said, I really only wanted the greatest hits because this one has Don't Stop Believin', Wheel in the Sky, Faithfully, Any Way You Want It, Separate Ways, Worlds Apart, and Open Arms. That's really all I need. Unfortunately, it's one of those with the broken thing here, so it just kind of sits, but that's okay. I guess I am eternally cursed to randomly get CDs like that. But still, really cool to have this. There's only probably like one or two. Yeah, Bon Jovi's one of them, and then there's one other band that I intend to only get the greatest hits album of. And I will do that someday. We shall see. Then we go on to, well, actually most of these, excuse me. I bought 2 more of these at that CD and DVD store. They'll be a little bit later, but most of these CDs here are from bands that are playing next year at Prague Power. I have determined, because they announced one of my favorite bands, that I am going. So my goal, basically by next year, which I will complete because I have to, is to have 1 CD of every band that sounds good to me, just from the like intro where they play like a minute and a half of their music. And so I actually got, let's see here, I have 3, 4, 3, 4, I guess there's only 4 of them right now. There's 4 bands there right now, and then actually the rest aren't Prague Power. I didn't realize it separated it this way. My bad. But I basically picked what I wanted to hear the most. So I bought 4 this month of them, and we'll go ahead and start with this. This is a new band that has 1 album, but one of their founding members is pretty popular, so they got a pretty high slot in the festival, like running wise. This is The Gentle Storm, and this is their first album, and so far only album, The Diary. Basically, this band was founded by Arjen Lucario, or however you pronounce his name, the guy that did Arion and Star One and stuff. And if you followed any of my music videos at all, or any of these collection updates, I love Arion. So I was really excited to have him announced, or have him, or a band of his, be there. And actually, the funny thing is, there's a second one of his playing this year that I will buy a CD of eventually, but he's not a part of that band anymore. He's a part of this one, but he doesn't tour, and they announced 2 of his bands, which is weird. And then they're doing the acoustic show. But the other founding member is a lady named Annika Van, oh god, there'll be a caption right here. I don't know how to pronounce her name. But she works a lot with a guy you'll see later here, and she's done a lot of folk music, and she's actually done some Arion, now that I think about it. So they're good friends, so they decided to do some work together. And this is a really good album. The really cool thing about this is it's actually 2 discs. There's this first disc here. This is the gentle version of the album, which is acoustic songs. It's like the entire album acoustically with like exotic instruments and like crazy drums, like bongo drum. I don't know how to explain it, but it sounds interesting. I didn't actually listen to this one all the way through because I actually listened to this one. This is the Storm version of the whole album, which is basically the heavy metal epic orchestrated version. That one entertained me a lot. This one here, I like this album quite a bit. It wasn't perfect, but there's some good songs here. There is, I believe Endless Sea was good. Heart of Amsterdam was surprisingly good. Cape of Storms, The Storm. I think Brightest Light was really good too. One of these days I will listen to the gentle version. Probably, I don't know, in a couple months, honestly, if I remember. But the fact that they keep announcing his bands, or they've announced 2, makes me wonder, is another one of his bands going to be there, or perhaps is Arion going to be there? Because if they announce that, I will die. But speaking of Arion, there will be some of that later. Surprise, surprise. Then we go on to another band, and a band that I've actually had on my list to buy for a long time, and they got announced, and I'm excited, and this CD I've actually listened to all but 2 of the CDs I'm going to show here, thankfully. But this is Hakken. This is their newest album, The Mountain. Basically prog metal. They're actually British, if I remember right. They've been around for a little while. I originally heard of them when they opened for Dream Theater, which at the time was still my favorite band. But I remember, and I put them on my list because I'm like, I gotta try Hakken because they've opened for Dream Theater, so they obviously gotta be good. And they've played Prog Power before, and they're back again as the almost headlining spot. And I have to say, after this album, this might be all of my hype right now. Like, this might be, so far, this is my #1 from the entire festival of CDs that I've heard. Mind you, I've only heard 4, not counting my favorite band. If you don't count my favorite band, this is what I'm hyped for the most, still. This album is fantastic. I enjoyed this a lot. Cockroach King is absolutely fantastic. Falling Back to Earth, Pareidolia, pretty much all of these are really good. It's like, I want to say it's like, it's prog metal, but I feel like they're really, really like blues influenced at the same time. Because they, like, a lot of their riffs just sounded bluesy, and that's cool. It sounds really good. And there's a lot of a cappella, too. Or a lot of just the singer singing with no music. Because he has a very, very unique voice. So it's really, really cool. This album was very, very good. Probably my favorite album. Yeah, I'm going to say probably the best album I listened to this month, honestly, is this one here. But yeah, I love this album. Cannot wait to buy more of these guys because they're probably at the top of my list once I finish buying bands that I want to buy. This one will so far be at the top of the list. Moving on, we have a fairly popular band in the prog rock-ish community, and they're actually playing Prog Power. They're playing one of the alternate nights, not the main festival. They're basically going to be almost headliners, that being Spocks Beard. They're really fairly popular in the prog rock community because one of their founding members was Neil Morse, and that guy's like really popular because he's done Transatlantic. I think he actually does, what the heck is the name of the band? He does another band with the old drummer for Dream Theater, but he's not in this band anymore. I was actually really surprised these guys were announced because, well, I mean, I didn't really know a lot about them, but I was surprised because they seem more prog than, they didn't seem too heavy. And I mean, I'm right because I listened to this CD and it's long. It's a long one. But these guys aren't metal. That's the thing. It's a metal festival and they have a prog rock band. And these guys are like way prog. Like it was relaxing prog. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just, I'm not 100% sure if this was my thing too much. I have the rest of their albums on my list now because they weren't bad. I'll have to listen to more of them, determine if I really want to, you know, buy more CDs. But this is their newest album, The Oblivion Particle. It's pretty good. Let's see, what did I particularly like? I liked Bennett Built a Time Machine, which is one of my favorite titles to a song ever now. Let's see, the center line was good here. To Be Free Again was pretty good. And then they did a cover of Iron Man, the Black Sabbath song. And it sounded musically exactly like, you know, Black Sabbath, but then the singer was different. But yeah, definitely good. If you like prog, if you like Rush and stuff, this is definitely a band you need to check out. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot to say about them because they were a little bit meh to me, but yeah. Moving on, we have, I believe, yes, this is the closer of the entire festival, the big headliner, I guess, that being Devin Townsend. This is his most popular band, I think, the Devin Townsend Project. This is, first of all, I just want to point this out, the logo, I never realized this, actually spells all 3 initials, DTP. Anyway, but this isn't his newest album. The newest album he released was Z2, which was a double album with the sequel to the album before that, Ziltoid the Omniscient. I didn't buy either of those because I wasn't sure about those. This one looked like the least, you know, because he likes to do screaming and growling and stuff, and I didn't really want that, and this looked like the most mellow of his albums. so I picked it up first. I do plan on getting more of his stuff, because I guess he doesn't do it too much, I guess. But I do want to get Ziltoid, because it's a comedy rock metal album about an alien trying to take over the Earth or something. But this is Epic Cloud. It's actually a double CD, but it's because this album here is called Epic Clouder, and it's a bunch of demos and not stuff that ended up being on the original one. But as for the actual CD itself, this was a really, really good CD. It has a lot of really good songs. Unfortunately, the track list spins around like this, but True North is really good. Lucky Animals is just funny. Let's see. Save Our Now is good. Kingdom was good. But my absolute favorite song on this album is a song called Grace. This might be my song of the month in my book, actually. Just go look it up if you can on YouTube. In fact, go look it up live. Devin Townsend, The Retinal Circus Live, which is one of his Blu-ray DVDs. Look up Grace. Because actually, like I said, that Annika chick from the Gentle Storm guest spots on this guy's music a lot. Like, she's actually in this album. She sings on Grace. She sings on a lot of the music. She's done apparently quite a few of his CDs, and she's going to be there singing with him as well. But I'm excited to see this now, because he just looks like one of those kind of people that when he plays, he makes crazy facial expressions, and he looks like an idiot, and he's entertaining. He just seems like an entertaining guy. He's actually a friend of a friend's, one of his favorite music artists, so I can make fun of him. But what really sucks is that this CD, I don't know what, but when I opened it, or however, the packing, I don't know if you can tell, but there's these weird divots and like dents and lines in the case. I mean, it doesn't really ruin the case, but still, kind of annoying. But really excited to see this guy now, actually. I wasn't too, excited, but I'm like, what, I'm going to buy it first, just because. That was kind of what it was. It was kind of a like, screw it, let's go kind of thing. And I bought it, and it was really good, so it's definitely worth a check out if you're into prog metal, though. He's apparently pretty popular. Then we go on to Arion, like I said, so we're going to, the rest of these are not prog power bands, and actually the two CDs at the end here are something special, because if you remember last month, but I'll explain that in a minute. We will finish off, or do two more CDs here. We got actually two Arion CDs that I bought at separate times. When I was with my girlfriend, I saw these two CDs, and I'm like, I want to buy them both, but I should just buy one just to be safe. So I bought one, and I ended up buying the very first Arion. This is the Final Experiment, and it's the special edition, which is like a bonus disc and a semi-acoustic bonus CD. But basically this is his first album. It's long, and it has nobody particularly famous on it. It was just something he wanted to do. It got pretty popular, did alright. Yeah, and, or actually no, this one didn't do too well, because I think it was actually originally called Arion, the Final Experiment, and it was his name, Arjen Lucario here. So I don't think it actually did that well, but then it was re-released later, after his Arion project got popular, and did really well. He also re-released it with this semi-acoustic bonus CD, which is apparently like a re-recorded audio and different singers from like The Human Equation, which is my favorite album of his still, and some of them, just some. But really cool to have this one. And then they actually had the second CD as well, and I went back just recently and bought that for myself because I wanted it. That being Actual Fantasy. This is also another re-release. I will take both of these out of the case, even though it doesn't really matter. But this one, also nobody particularly famous, and I don't think it's going to be as long either. And this one didn't do that great either when it was first released. But it ought to be pretty cool to listen to both of these, because I do want to have all of Arion. And this only leaves like 2 CDs of his, and one's basically a double album. So I'm excited. These are the only 2 I didn't listen to this month, because I just bought this one like yesterday, 2 days ago, sorry. And this one I haven't had the chance to listen to because of how long it is. But still, really, really excited to listen to them. It's going to be fun. I do love me some Arion. Then to finish this up, we have the 2 CDs that I talked about during last month's collection update. If you remember, I had 2 CDs last month. I was supposed to have 4, and I was all mad, and I said I was going to like contact the sellers and find out what was going on. And I actually did for this first one here, and was about to for this other one, and the person actually contacted me back about one of them and said, "Oh, that's weird. I should check it out, and give me your DHL or give me your address so I can check DHL, blah 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 blah." And then he never got back to me. And then basically one of these, the last one here, showed up like the day my girlfriend got here, and I forgot it had come from Argentina. That was why it took so long. And then the other one got here over a month after I ordered it, after she left. And all it did was come from Ontario, Canada. So I don't exactly know what happened, but I got them both, and I didn't have to rebuy them or get a refund or anything. So we'll start off here with a CD I've been waiting so long to listen to since it came out. This is the new Symphony X, the newest. This is Underworld, just came out this year. I've been so excited. I should have bought it in July. It probably would have been a smarter choice. But it's basically based a lot on Dante's Inferno and stuff. There's some good songs on this. Nevermore is good. Underworld Without You, they're all really good, honestly. Swan Song was good. Really good album. Still doesn't top Hakken, though, in my book. I had a lot of fun listening to this. It was really, really good. I still absolutely love Russell Allen, the singer of this band. I really, really enjoyed this album. Prog metal. This band is amazing. I really wish I could get the opportunity to see them in concert. They've been in Seattle a couple times, but I haven't been able to go see them. They've played Prog Power a few times. I'm hoping that one of these years they'll just come back. I'd kill to see these guys, man. This is probably #1 on my concert list. Definitely. Of bands I haven't seen. But excited to have this. And then I still have 1 CD and their live album I have to get, and then I have all of their stuff. Then we go on to probably the biggest band I bought this month, with not their newest album, but their second newest, Nightwish. This is their second newest album, Imaginarium. It actually says right there, sorry, on the back. I don't know why it doesn't say it on the front here. Oh, it does. It's just really dark. But I bought their album Dark Passion Play, the one before this, a couple months ago. Enjoyed the crap out of it because I think I like this Annette Olzon better than Tarja. No offense to all your Tarja fans, whatever, it is what it is. Unfortunately, she's not even in the band anymore. But yeah, I really enjoyed Dark Passion Play. This one, I don't think it was quite as good as Dark Passion Play, but it was still really, really fun. I mean, Storytime was good, Slow of Slow, I Want My Tears Back is fantastic. Scared Tale, basically a bunch of these are really good. It's a really good album. A lot of fun. I still don't put it above Dark Passion Play, but probably my second favorite of what I've heard. And I've heard once Dark Passion Play and this one. And once just disappointed me, other than Wish I Had an Angel and Ghost Love Score. So this is really good. I do intend to buy their newest album, Endless Forms Most Beautiful, with Floor Jansen, because I think she's a fantastic singer. So I will buy that eventually, but like I said, I'm focusing on Prog Power bands. So it'll probably be a little while before I get anybody outside of Prog Power, but we'll see. But that is it for CDs. It's probably been a little while now. I don't even know how long this video is right now. It's going to be a long, long video because we got a little ways to go. Because video games is probably my biggest section, and you'll see why in a moment, or in a few minutes here. But first off, we'll start with one of the accessories that I got, because we're going to close out with the other ones. But literally, I kid you not, my coworker at my gas station, which is where I work, handed me this saying, this guy went dumpster diving and gave it to me. And I'm like, okay, I'll see if it works. If it does, that's awesome. And it did, which is incredible, because it's a freaking DS Action Replay. And it works just fine. I've tested it. I believe this is the USB cord that plugs it in, so you can add cheats and stuff. But it's a working DS Action Replay that somebody threw away. Like, what is my luck? I've found so much in the garbage, just from when I've I've worked there. I found gloves. I found a phone. I can't remember what else I found, but there's been plenty of an entire set of silverware. That's right, because I got that too. But really cool to have this because I mean I've kind of always wanted this just to mess around with some of my DS games after I beat them and stuff. I think it's okay to cheat if you've already beaten the game, you know. But moving on to actual games, I actually got one game on Steam this month because, like I said, it was my birthday. My friend Phoenix, the Flaming Firebird of Doom, got me the Resident Evil HD remake. I wouldn't really say it's a remake, it's just an HD remaster of the game. Excited to have it, because I mean I have the RE4 one on Steam already, and I have Resident Evil 4 on Wii as well. I did pop this in and play it for a few minutes, and it has that old school, I forgot, the original Resident Evil had that crazy control style where you had to turn and then aim, and it's terrible. But I'm excited to have it because it's Resident Evil, and the original Resident Evils were supposed to be really scary and gory, so I am excited to play it. So that ought to be a lot of fun, Resident Evil, you know. But then we go on to the actual video games I got. So while my girlfriend was here, obviously I'm going to say this a lot, well no, this is probably the last time maybe one more time this video. But we went to this retro game store, not the normal one I used to go to, but I think I found a new favorite one. I got the 2 import games there, if you remember from a couple months back, and I've gotten a few other things there. But they had a sale of, I believe it was buy 2 get 1 free on PS2 games, and I found a bunch of PS2 games that I wanted. Unfortunately, I accidentally bought one I already had. I got confused. It happens. It was cheap. I think it was one of the free ones I got, I think. But, so I have 5 here that I got, because there were there's a couple that I've been looking for, one that I accidentally got again because it wasn't in the right order, and then 2 games that I thought, because of the series they're from, I should buy them. But we'll go ahead and get started with this one. This is Rygaard, The Legendary Adventure. Basically, I don't think this was a really popular game, but I need to tell a little bit of a story behind this to why I bought it and why I know about it. Well, first of all, this is originally an NES game, but that's not what I'm talking about. Back when God of War originally came out for PS2 as well, I was playing a little bit, and my little stepbrother actually had a PS2, and my stepmother was watching me play, and she thought it was cool, so she was gonna buy it, and then instead she picked up this game, probably because it was cheaper. I mean, I know why, but I played it, and I actually had a lot of fun, but I couldn't get that far. Still further than I got when I tried to play this recently. But the game isn't bad. The controls are actually pretty fluent. It's a lot of fun. I will play this eventually, because I mean you have a crazy spinny disc thing that you throw at people. I mean, that's not that bad. Oh, I forgot that it had a little lithograph thing here. That's pretty cool. But definitely excited to have this, because this was on my list of games I wanted to buy. So it's pretty cool to have that just because of the nostalgia behind it, even though there wasn't much because I never beat the game. And then these next 2 games were also on my list. One, because it's an anime game, and that being this one. This is the first Fullmetal Alchemist for PS2. Fullmetal Alchemist and the Broken Angel. I actually have the second one. I found it... I don't even remember, I've had it for a long time. But I've been looking for the first one, and I could never find it. Finally found it for pretty cheap. So I picked it up. I don't know exactly what to say about it. It's not fantastic. But I mean, I will probably play it just because it's Fullmetal Alchemist. So, looks good. I mean, I love Fullmetal Alchemist, so how do you go wrong, you know? Then, go into a pretty popular series from this generation of games, Prince of Persia, when they rebooted the thing. This is actually the last of the trilogy, Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. For some reason I got confused, and I thought The Warrior Within was last, so I picked this one up, because I have the Sands of Time, and I wanted the other 2. So I accidentally picked that up. unfortunately. But eventually I'll pick up The Warrior Within. That'll probably be something I try to either shoot for when I have money or when I go to Seattle. I might shoot for those two games, or that game. But still, really cool to have this. I'll play it eventually once I beat Sands of Time and The Warrior Within. But still really cool to have it. Pretty cool. I mean, I like the cover here. He looks cool. Then we go on to two games that I think actually this last one was on my list, but I completely forgot about it. But like I said, it's two pretty big franchises that have been around for a long time, so I thought I'd pick them up. First up, we'll start with Resident Evil Code Veronica X. The greatest hits version, but whatever. I kind of passed trying to get black box versions of everything. Actually, I would like to correct myself. When I was talking about Resident Evil HD, I was actually talking about this. This was the one I launched into, and it had the old school control system. So I am horrified for how this game could go. Because I vaguely remember hearing about this, I just don't remember where. Like, I've heard of it somewhere. I think I've heard that it was really, really good. Or maybe the original Code Veronica or something, unless this is the original, or this is a remake or something. I have no idea. But I am excited to play it eventually. It ought to be fun. And then we close off with another one, and this is the one that I actually had on my list, because I actually want to get most of these games. And it's for PS2, which is pretty weird. I forgot I have Symphony of the Night and 4, but this is Castlevania Lament of Innocence. I completely forgot about this game. I forget that they made Castlevanias for things past, PlayStation half the time, because they just weren't that popular, except for like the handheld ones. But I am excited to play this. I actually popped it in and played it for a little bit. It controls like Castlevania, really. It does. It doesn't control too bad. It's probably better than the N64 ones, so. But yeah, excited to have this, because Castlevania, and I have a lot of friends who are Castlevania fans, so this ought to be fun to finally play. Maybe I'll sit down with them and play it one of these days. Really cool. Then we go on to something a little bit special. When me and my friend went up to, because my girlfriend and I were a friend of ours at the time, we went up to the counter to pay for all these games, because he bought some Xbox games, I think, because he had just gotten an original Xbox. The lady at the counter is just like, "Hey, you want a free game?" And he's like, "What, to counteract this so I don't get one of them free?" No, she's like, "No, sometimes we just like to give our customers just free games, just randomly." And she's like, she points to behind her, she's like, "Just pick any game on this shelf." And I'm looking at the shelf, looking at it. And then I spot NBA Jam, and I'm like, he's going to pick NBA Jam. So he picked NBA Jam in the box, in that plastic case for Sega Genesis, which is absolutely fantastic. And then came my turn, and I was looking and looking, and I found a game, the game that I needed to get. I don't even have this console. That's the best part about this. But it's actually also a Genesis game. I don't have a Genesis yet. Like I said, it's at the top of my system list. But this is Road Rash 2. The reason I had to get this, first of all, it was over $20 and I got it for nothing. The reason I got this, reason number one, is because my friend Philly is a huge fan of this game. This was one of his favorite games growing up. He played the heck out of it. And as a matter of fact, and I'm going to link to it here in the description, I might as well, he has a YouTube channel, and one of the series he has is him playing through this, and I'm a guest spot in it, so I'm going to link to it, and you guys can watch that, because it's actually a pretty cool game. It's a lot of fun, and it's actually this one. He's playing Road Rash 2. Not 1 or 3, because those exist as well. And it's actually an EA game, back when they were tolerable. But the other reason I got this is because of this. It came in the box. With the manual, with the manual, this old black and white manual, and a little postcard thing. I can type it. Is that a password system? Hold on. Can I cheat? Oh, okay, never mind. Anyway, so really cool because it's a complete inbox game. I mean, how do you go wrong with a complete inbox game? I sent him a text message of this game, and he's like, "How did you find that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got it for free." And he's like, "What? We still have ours." So apparently they still have their original copy as well. But it was really, really cool to have this, even though I don't have a Genesis. I can't wait to get a Genesis to make sure this game works, because that was the one thing I couldn't do, is test to see if this game works. But hey, who cares? A nice box for my shelf, and something to go on my video game shelf. Alright, these last two games are a little bit newer. In fact, they're two new releases from this month. One for the Wii U and one for the 3DS. This one here for the Wii U, I wasn't planning on getting it first, but then I'm just like, you know what, screw it. I got a huge paycheck in the middle of this month. That's why I have so much stuff. I got a huge paycheck, and it was a 3-paycheck month, so I was able to buy a lot. So, this game, it's a sequel to Kirby's Epic Yarn. I did want it, and I mean, I have it now, so it'll be fun. Yoshi's Woolly World. Unfortunately, I did not get the bundle with the Green Yarn Yoshi, but the Green Yarn Yoshi does come out standalone next month. Or this month, technically, sorry. But, a lot of fun. I haven't popped this in and played it yet, but I am excited, very excited to play this, because I mean, Amiibos change the costumes and stuff, and it's yarn, and just the style and the look of this game. It's just one of those unique kind of styles that you don't know what to say. It reminds me a lot of Unravel. I mean, that game that I talked about during my short E3 recap. I mean, it reminds me of Epic Yarn, but a little bit more polished and better, probably. So I am excited to finally play this, because it's going to be fun. But I have to move on to this next game because of what it is. Because every time there is a new Zelda game, I have to talk about it, even if I haven't played it yet, and that is the case with this one. This is the brand new 3DS game, which is funny because the last game was also a 3DS game. This is Triforce Heroes, sort of a spiritual successor to the Four Swords series, because there's 3 characters that can be played at once. The reason they couldn't do 4 like in Four Swords, or make a Four Swords sequel, is because something to do with the limitations of the 3DS. So they were only able to do 3. I think it has something to do with the stacking mechanic, how you can stack. Maybe 4 didn't quite work. It doesn't look like a normal Zelda game. It sounds like kind of like an online Zelda game because you can like connect with friends and do dungeons and stuff. But I haven't popped it in and played it yet, so I can't really say that. So it does look like a lot of fun because there's a bunch of costumes you can use that give you special abilities, and you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Plus, you have the ability to basically play with your friends even if they don't have the game. They can just like direct download it, which is one of the greatest ideas Nintendo has ever had. Like, especially for a Zelda game, it means I can play with 3 friends, and I'm the only one with the game. 2 friends. Sorry, not 2. I get Four Swords confused. Anyway, but it's 2 friends other than me, and I mean, none of them really look like Link, because if you look, green hair, blue hair, red hair. But I guess this is supposed to be a sequel to Link Between Worlds. I don't know if it's the same Link, but I don't know. It might be just the same universe, which means it's also a sequel to A Link to the Past. But, hey, you know what? Awesome. This is cool. Which means it's in the Downfall timeline. So, I am really happy to have this because it's Zelda. And I, for 2 days, did not have the every Zelda game ever made because I thought it came out 2 days after it actually came out. But thankfully I was able to pick it up because I had money down on it. And of course I'm going to pick up Zelda. There's no choice. I don't have, it's not an option. So, I'm happy to have this game. But that is it for video games. We'll go on to a couple special things here. First off, I went out with my girlfriend, and one of the places we went was a mall, and they had a little calendar stand. And we were looking at calendars, and she found something she wanted, and I found something I wanted because, duh, Zelda. So, this is a Legend of Zelda 2016 calendar. Kind of looks to me like it's, at least this cover is based on A Link Between Worlds, because I mean it has the Dark World down here. In fact, I feel like I have this picture as one of the Club Nintendo posters. I just can't quite remember. But on the back here, I believe this is every month. I don't know why there's a 2015 thing, but you got Twilight Princess Link and a goat. You got 5 from Skyward Sword. Oh, this is all different games, because you got Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, this is Wind Waker HD, this is Tingle, and then you got Link from, it looks like Triforce Heroes. That is actually the Link from A Link Between Worlds. I was tired, I'm sorry. And then also Wind Waker HD with the Kokiri guy. More Wind Waker HD, the Happy Mask Salesman from Majora's Mask. That's Phantom Hourglass, holy cow. That is Goron's from Phantom Hourglass. That's actually the Skull Kid from Ocarina of Time. I think, yeah. Then Ghost Ganon, or Shadow Phantom Ganon from Ocarina, and then Fierce Deity Link from Majora's, and then over here you got Zelda and her Loftwing from Skyward Sword. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, I'm probably not going to open this because I don't really use calendars, but it's a collectible Zelda calendar. No way I could pass that up. But then we go on to something special. Alright, so this month, something kind of special happened. While my girlfriend was here, we walked into Best Buy just because we were trying to kill time because we didn't know what to do that day. We walk in and we go to the video game section. We happen to spot Amiibos, and holy crap, I found a bunch of the rare ones. So that awoke something inside of me, and I know I promised to myself that I would only buy the Zelda ones, but I caved a little bit this month, and I bought 12 Amiibos. So I had 5. I more than tripled my Amiibo collection this month. I got a mix of common and hard to find, or at least were hard to find, and then some that are probably going to be hard to find here soon because I was able to get them at the right time. But we'll go ahead and start with the more common ones. These were like, I actually made a list to myself, and there are still some on this list that I wanted to get. Most of them are uncommon or really hard to find. But I really wanted these two just because they look cool. And this is the original Mario from the Super Smash Bros. Original release. The reason I got it, Fireball. That's really what it is. To me, I wanted the one with the Fireball over the Super Mario one because the Fireball. So I was happy to get this. It's pretty easy to come by. Yeah, I'm happy. And then the other one is also a Mario character. Here we got Bowser, the Super Mario Bowser. The reason I got the Super Mario one, this will probably be the only Super Mario amiibo I get, unless I decide to get somebody else for no reason. The only reason I got this one is because for some reason the regular Bowser looks like garbage compared to this one. So I bought this one because he looks a lot better. Because this is just a better looking amiibo to me. Plus, the reason I got Bowser is because I always liked how he looked. That spiked shell thing just is cool to me. So I picked it up. None of these are going to be open. That's the best part. I don't even know where the hell I'm going to put these. So, still really cool to have these. Then we move on to, at least here the next two, we move on to some of the little bit harder to find ones. And first off, we'll start with this one. This is Captain Falcon. The big reason I got him is because I remember playing every Super Smash Bros. And just Falcon punching everybody. I always loved Captain Falcon as a character. I actually have my greatest moment in Super Smash Bros. Was with Captain Falcon, where I Falcon punched somebody from the sky. Basically, he was Snake. He used the B-up attack to float up with the little rover thing. I was coming down from the top, and I just hit Falcon Punch, and I KO'd him with it. I don't even know how that happened, but it did, and it was the greatest thing. But really happy to have Captain Falcon, because Captain Falcon, you know. Then we go on to a harder to find one. And by harder to find, I mean it was pretty crazy to find. I saw it originally when I went into the Best Buy at my house, but they got rid of them, or they ran out. And then we had to drive about 30 minutes away to get this one, but this wasn't the one I went to there to get. You'll see that one later. But that is Shulk. You know, I'm going to be honest, the only reason that I got him is because I was really feeling it. There's really nothing else to say. That's my reasoning. I was really feeling it. I didn't even plan on getting Shulk, but I just love that line, and I like to annoy people with it, so I got Shulk. Enough said. Then we will actually go on to a series, and the next series that I plan on completing, that being Pokemon. I have all but one, and there's another one coming out next month, but that'll be taken care of because it's easier to get them at launch than it is, you know, later. That being Pokemon, we'll start with the most common. I got Pikachu. I mean, it's funny that the most common is the friggin' icon of the franchise. Pretty funny that he was the easiest to get. But I got him, and it's done. Pikachu, can't go wrong with Pikachu. But the rest of these were a little bit harder to find. And funny story about this next one, Charizard. We walked into that Best Buy, and I bought my girlfriend Charizard, and I bought myself, I believe, 2 of these that you'll see later. I planned on coming back for the next one you'll see here. A couple days later, we went back, and my girlfriend bought me Charizard, and then I bought myself Captain Falcon, actually, I believe. But unfortunately, this next one here wasn't there. But it's just kind of funny that I bought my girlfriend Charizard. I actually bought her Charizard and Pikachu. I got her this for her birthday months ago. But I wanted to get this for... No, I got it for Christmas. I got her Pikachu for Christmas, that's right. I wanted to get her this for her birthday, but it was like crazy sold out, so I couldn't get it for her. And then we found it at the Best Buy. We fought over it, and I'm like, no, this is your birthday present. You are getting this from me. And then she later bought it for me, which was actually really funny. It's pretty cool. You know, usually I do a little overview of these guys. Well, I mean, at least with the Zelda ones. I mean, I just want to kind of race through these because there's so many of them. I'm sorry. But, you know, most of them look alright. There's a couple that don't look great, but the Pokemon ones look really, really good. So I will say that. But moving on, we got 2 more Pokemon here. Funny story about this one. Like I said, with Shulk, this is the one I bought that I had to drive 30 minutes away, because originally it was at my Best Buy, and when I went to get it, again, after I had paid for all these, they didn't have it anymore. And that was kind of disappointing. But I was able to find it, thankfully. That is actually Greninja. I actually really like Greninja. Another funny story about this one. When I bought this, I actually bought a second one because my friend wanted to buy one for his girlfriend, and he told me if I ever found one, he'd pay me back if I bought it for him. So I actually bought 2 Greninjas. But Greninja looks amazing, and I'm glad to have a Greninja because I was worried that he was going to be one of those that I'd never get. So, really cool to have him. He looks good. Yeah. Then we go on, this last Pokemon here, and, you know, the big rare one that I got. It's not so rare anymore, at least in this area, but this one was pretty rare as far as I remember, and originally it was a Toys R Us exclusive, but they started stocking it at Best Buy, which makes me happy, because that means maybe the exclusivity stuff won't last for much longer, because I think the exclusivity for these amiibos is garbage, and it annoys me. But I'm hoping for the best. But this is Lucario, one of my favorite Pokemon. This originally, these next 2 here, when I was originally going to get Amiibo, I was thinking about getting them. Was this one and the following one here. I was thinking about getting them, but then they got really rare and hard to find, so I just kind of said no. But then I found them, and I said, you know what? I'm doing this. And then that started a whole new thing in me, and I don't even know what to say. But I love Lucario. He's really fun to play as in Brawl and, you know, the 3DS and Wii U version. Really happy to have him, and I got him at a Best Buy, which is hilarious. He's the last Pokemon I have. There is one other Pokemon that is out right now, and that's Jigglypuff. And I think it's hard to find, and it's also a Target exclusive, so I don't even know how I'm going to find that. But that is my wish. And Mewtwo comes out next month on the same day as the Green Yarn Yoshi. So I'll probably pick up both of those when they come out, if GameStop or somebody gets them both. I will just go in, or have somebody go in for me when they open, so I can get both of them. Because I have to have all the Pokemon now. No, I don't have to, but, you know, I have a problem. I'm sorry. But we go on to the big rare one, and one of the top talked about rare ones that was really, really hard to come by. And somehow the Best Buy up the street from my house got 200 of them. So, which makes me realize that whole port situation that they had, the port, strike or whatever, is over. And I guess Nintendo started reproducing amiibos, which gives me hope for the ones that I have left that I want to get, that aren't hard to find. But we'll see. But this is one of the big ones. This was Marth. Like I said, somehow the Best Buy up the street from my house got 200 of them. But it's really cool to have this, because Marth was my main in Brawl. That was the reason I wanted him. And then he got hard to find, and I just kind of gave up on it. But I'm really, really happy to have Marth. Unfortunately, it looks like in the box here, his sword is a little bent, but whatever. He's a little bit limp, guys. So, I'm really happy to have this, though. It's friggin' Marth. You know, so I'm happy to have this. I'm really excited. I don't know why those weren't last, but there were a special 3 that came out this month. We'll start with this one. This is the 30th anniversary Mario amiibo. He's all pixelated. This is the standalone one that didn't come with the game, so it's got the brown old school coloring, because the one with the game with Super Mario Maker, which I have, I wish I had gotten the amiibo too, but it's okay, was in blue. It had like the blue, the traditional style of his clothing, but still, I really wanted this amiibo. This was another one I remember seeing, and I'm like, if this ever comes out, I have to get it, because it's a 30th anniversary, and I have a feeling this thing's going to be really hard to find here soon. So, and it so far is, so I'm really glad I picked it up when I did. But happy about that. And then to close this off, Yoshi's Woolly World came out, and I remember them announcing the Yarn Yoshi amiibos, and I'm like, oh, those are going to be hard as hell to get. And then there was that whole amiibo fire, or the Yarn Yoshi fire in France or whatever, so I thought there was going to be like a world shortage, but there wasn't. Unfortunately, I didn't get the green one with the game, but I'm going to get it when it comes out, because at that Best Buy up the street from my house, I was able to find a pink one. Yes, I got a pink Pokemon, or a pink amiibo. But first of all, it's not like a normal amiibo. It doesn't have the stand, and it kind of sits in here kind of loose. But believe it or not, this is also, I actually got 2 of these, because the original one I accidentally knocked over and bent the box, and since I'm never going to take these out of the box, I wanted one that was in the best possible shape. So my friend owed me some money. Actually, a coworker owed me some money, so he bought me another one. And my mom got the other one, and she's apparently going to keep it in the box. And for the longest time, I thought pink and green were the only ones, and I found out about the light blue one. And I tried to get it. Originally, that store that I went to get Greninja and Shulk had it, but they ran out of it while I was at work, which was frustrating. And I thought I wasn't going to get it anywhere. And then literally 2 days ago, I do a one last amiibo run of the month. I went to Best Buy. They didn't have, well, they had the Bowser, but it was all bent. So I was like, you know what, we'll just try GameStop. And if GameStop doesn't have it, we will go to another Best Buy. And I walk in, and I'm like, Bowser, Mario, and then I'm like, oh my god, they have it. That in which I seek. This is like a legend thing, and I was able to find the light blue Yarn Yoshi amiibo at the GameStop up the street from my house. For some grace of God, they had this. I don't even know what to say. I am literally, most likely, going to have all 3 of the Yarn Yoshis as of this next month. And I'm really happy to have the blue one, because blue is one of my favorite colors, so I particularly wanted this one. And I mean, look at these. These look just unique. They just look unique. I don't know how to describe it, and I can't wait to get the green one. And I mean, there's the giant green one coming out. That's a Toys R Us exclusive, but no. Not worth buying a giant thing that's like $30. No. No. So, like I said, really happy to have these, and I'm really glad. Just for a little bit of an idea of what I have left. The only ones I have left, I have Green Yarn Yoshi and Mewtwo, which come out next month. And then I have Lucina, which was another really rare one, that's probably going to be hard to find. I mean, they reproduced Marth and Lucario, so maybe they will reproduce Lucina. And then Jigglypuff, the last Pokemon, Target exclusive. I'm hoping to find that somewhere. And then Kirby and Meta Knight, which apparently have gotten pretty rare, so those are probably going to be hard to find unless they reproduce them. And then Roy, when he comes out, the Fire Emblem character, I will get him, since they're releasing Mewtwo already and he's a DLC character, which means, you know, Lucas is probably coming. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a lot more characters I want, unless they do like a Pokemon series of amiibos or a Zelda series of amiibos. I probably won't get any more. We'll see. It could change, because, I mean, I didn't plan on getting all of these that I got this month. So, yeah. But, I'm going to go ahead and pan up a little bit. We'll just focus on these. That is it for my collection update for October 2015. There's going to be one this next month, because I have more CDs for Prog Power I'm buying. I just bought 4. There will be Robin Williams movies. There'll be one. Don't worry about it. There'll be one for, even if it's small. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. See you next month. Later.